Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new edition of Message of Hope. And today I have the great pleasure to be with Natasha Swerdloff, who is an author of the beautiful book Coming Home. And I will probably put an Amazon link later on the description. And she's also well, you're a coach. You can say you're a coach and also a teacher and working with businesses from the three principles understanding. And we'll get into the three principles in another video. So welcome, Natasha.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for your time. And I will ask the infamous question. And the question is all does that having this understanding, how does that help you navigate stress or events or even COVID, whatever shows up in your life? How does that help you?
That's a great question. And it's a very simple answer. I understand that stress is created from one place and one place only. So it doesn't matter if it's COVID or if it's work or if it's relationships or if it's disease or death even. There's nothing on the outside that can create anything inside of me because everything is created from within. So the understanding of the three principles is to understand that we create from inside. And the understanding helps me to feel calm, like in the eye of the hurricane, because anything that's going on out there, I can look at it and I know that anything that's been created it looks as if it's created from out there. But when I look at it more carefully, I can see that it's created by my thinking. That's why, for instance, COVID, I'm sure everyone who's watching this will notice that people range from, really feeling a lot of stress around it, a lot of fear around it, to going, this has been the best time of my life. I've spent more time with my family. I've calmed down. I've realized different things. I'm going to change my company. I want to change my relationship. Or so we have the full range of possibilities within human emotion. Why? How's that possible? If COVID could create feelings in us, surely we would all feel the same, but we don't. Why? Because we color with our thinking our experience of COVID in all kinds of different ways. So the three principles that I teach and write, I co-wrote a book with a man named Dr. Dicken Bettinger. And what we wrote about was these three principles and how they're helpful. So the way that they're helpful is if we think that something out there can create something in here, then I'm forever a victim. I'm forever feeling hopeless because I will need something out there to change before I can change. So for instance, if I thought that you, Martine, were creating stress in me, like, oh, you're so stressful, then I would need you to change your behavior before I could relax. Of course, that's going to be a big task because you are you and I am I, and that's just how it is. So from being a victim, from living most of my life as a victim, and I'm also a psychotherapist, which means that I've spent a lot of time both in my own psychotherapy, going through that whole process, and then spent many, many years using psychotherapy as my praxis. But when I came across this understanding almost 10 years ago now, it shifted completely. So first of all, I saw that everything that's been created is being created from within and not from out there. So that shifted my life from feeling like a victim and feeling hopeless and helpless to feeling, wow, if it's created from here, then I have a say in it. Oh my gosh, I have free will. Oh my gosh, I feel hopeful. I'm not a victim of circumstance. I can feel happy even though things around me seems chaotic or even stressful. I can feel calm because there's something inside that is untouched by anything that happens on the outside. So that was one of the first things that I saw. The second thing that I saw was, oh my gosh, I'm not my thinking. I'm not even my feelings. I'm not my body. I have thoughts, they come and go. I have feelings, they come and go. My body hasn't gone yet, but it's certainly aged. You know, I see 50 years on it. So how could I ever be something that can come and go? And I started seeing that there's a deeper truth beneath what comes and goes, which is there's something that doesn't come and go. There's an awareness behind all thoughts, all feelings, all experiences. There's even an awareness behind my body. I know how I'm feeling in my body. I know how I'm feeling emotionally and in my thoughts. I'm not something that can come and go. I am the constant. I'm always here. And that which I am is formless. What does that mean? Well, if something doesn't have a form, it can't break. It can't be destroyed. Nothing that happens in my experience can ever destroy it. Now, as a psychotherapist, I used to think that people were broken. And it was my job as a therapist to go back in time as if we could. I mean, if it's when something is not happening right now, it's over. Right? But still, as a therapist, you go back in time, you think you are, find out where the trauma happened, try to heal the trauma back then, and then you kind of go back in time to where you are now and go ahead. It didn't work very well. I mean, I've had probably 500 hours of therapy and I was still pretty messed up in my head. But then I found this understanding. And first of all, so I realized that thought is created from within. So all of my experience is created from this power of thought, first principle. Second thing I found out was that this power of consciousness is actually who I am. Mm-hmm. I can always say there's something that's been aware of everything that's happened in my life. And that which has been aware of all of my experiences hasn't been broken by it. Just like the TV doesn't get broken even if you watch a war movie. Now, the last principle we call universal mind. What does that mean? It doesn't mean my little mind, Natasha's little mind. It means there's a mind behind all of the universe. There's something that's created everything. And that which has created everything has an intelligence, an enormous power. It has life force. It makes everything grow and expand. And it's intelligent. It knows how to move. It knows how to make the birds migrate. It knows how to create, from 2 cells, a baby is created. Sometimes parents say, oh, we made this baby. No, they didn't. Right? Something else made the baby. We couldn't possibly fathom what goes into creating a baby.
Make sure that all the things are in the right places, right?
Exactly, just that, right? So the 3 principles are that which creates everything. It's aware, it's creative, and it's alive. And this aliveness, this life force, we can feel it when we get really quiet. We can feel this. Sometimes it feels like a subtle buzzing, or there's a sense of just being alive. And the feeling is really nice. It's not like happiness, like, oh, I just got a bunch of flowers from my husband. It's not that kind of happiness. It's more like, oh, I just feel alive right now. I feel creative. I feel I want to do something. I want to just be. And this being that we are essentially moves when we don't mess up with our head, which thinks it's so clever. But the more we are aligned with this life force, this universal mind, the easier life becomes. Because we understand that I am not doing it. Something else is living me. And that's very hopeful because it's not on my shoulders. Most people feel like life is on their shoulders. It feels so heavy and I have to do all these things and make everything's work. And my gosh, it's hard work. Once we realize something else has been living me always, I'm not the one beating my heart. I'm not the one breathing. Something else is. So understanding what creates everything, what is aware of everything, and how creativity is the agent by which we are able to think anything at all and create all kinds of fabulous things in the world and all sorts of horrible things in the world. It's the same creativity, but just like a knife can be used to murder someone, the same knife can be used to butter a sandwich for your loved ones. So the creativity is simply impersonal.
We're always plugged in. We're plugged into this universal knowledge.
Yes, we are.
And that's why when there's a new invention, it looks like 2 or 3 people had the same idea at the same time, because the time was right and it could go through anyway. So
yeah. So the way that it's impacted me is really very simple. I'm more relaxed because I know it's not on my shoulders. I didn't create COVID, something did. It's here. I'm dealing with it the best I can. Have I been hit by it personally? I have, in many different ways. But I'm not so concerned about it. I'm much more relaxed in the face of the changes that there are. I also know that it can't hurt me. I can't be damaged by it. I will go through it and come through it on the other side the best that I can. And I know that there's something that has my back. There's an intelligence, there's a power, there's a wisdom that I always have access to. The wisdom where you say plugged in, I'm always plugged in. So there's this beautiful knowing that life has my back. And the less I struggle, the more relaxed I can be. And funnily enough, how do we deal with things when we're relaxed? Much better. How do we deal with things when we're uptight and frightened? Not very well. We take really bad decisions usually when we're frightened. So I'm more relaxed. When I don't know how to deal with something, I wait until I know. And it's hopeful for me to know that it's not on me. There's something else. I am plugged in to the universal mind, to to that which has created everything. And that really makes me feel very peaceful and a lot of love and compassion for the ones who are struggling, because there's certainly a lot of those. Yeah, so that's how it's impacted me.
well, thank you, Natasha. It was very, very well explained and also very hopeful, no, because people can see, no, more deeply by your explanation that, yeah, life can be beautiful
Yeah.
without our interference. And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
I founded something called the Principles Institute. So if you go to theprinciplesinstitute.com, you will find more about me. You will see where I wrote about 3 principles. There's lots of videos there of me. So there's lots of free resources. There's also which programs I'm doing. I travel around the world a whole lot and teach at different conferences and do seminars. Of course, not so much the past year and a half, but usually. I also have my own YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and just type in Natasha Swerdloff, you'll come to my channel, which you can subscribe to and watch free videos of me.
Thank you, Natasha.
You're welcome.